Hey, here we go. Welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be talking all about how you can lose weight for summer without crash dieting. But before I get into it and the type of coach that I'm going to absolutely destroy in this video, you know, the 4-week summer shreds that you see everywhere. Apologies that I actually look like that type of person. Proper hypocritical, but hopefully you can appreciate we have a heat wave at the moment in the UK. So it's absolutely scorching. I'm trying to film this early in the morning before it gets too hot. And this is my gym kit. So yeah, I look like the type of person that I'm about to absolutely destroy and tell you to avoid and why. But yeah, there we go. So let's get straight into it. And you know, it's the time of year when for most of you, you want to lose that excess weight that you've carried, and whether, you know, it be something that's just, you know, accumulated this last year or beyond, you know, and it's kind of, you know, it's the time of year, isn't it, when we want to wear loose clothing, feel confident in ourselves and just, you know, be present and enjoy. Like we want to go on holiday and feel good. We want to be able to, you know, the wedding season, we want to wear nice things and we just want to, yeah, feel good in ourselves. And I feel like this is a time of year when we're outside, we're more exposed to that. So it's a priority for a lot of over 30s. But I want to help you avoid the mistake that you probably make every year. And this is that when you've tried to, or you know, you've never fully achieved your weight loss goal, you've never truly been in a shape that you're comfortable in, or if you have, you know, that was 5-10 years ago, and you're constantly stuck in this cycle of trying to get back to it. It's very easy when it comes to this time of year to have that same all or nothing mindset where you go, you know, and if you look at, you know, the marketing right now, it's every coach trying to sell you a 4-week summer shreds, you know, generic load of rubbish, which I'm going to talk about. But stick around till the end of the video because I'm going to tell you the real way and how actually we can lose weight this summer, see rapid progress, but do it in a way that's sustainable. And, you know, this process is incredibly liberating. It's why we have our 4-week summer accelerator. I'm going to share it with you because it's going to open your eyes up to actually what you can achieve and how fitness can enhance your life, not restrict it, and that you don't have to keep falling for the same old 4-week summer shred rubbish, fad diet, you know, generic stuff that just don't do anything for you. Okay, so let's talk about it. So, you know, how can we avoid making the same mistakes every year? Because the reality is a 4-week, 6-week, 8-week, whatever it may be, summer shred, you know, to lose the pounds for your holiday and stuff and whatever, you know, it's marketed as is not doing anything for you other than reinforcing that all or nothing mindset. Because the reality is for you to truly achieve a body shape that you're comfortable in, for you to make this part of who you are, to show up as a better version of yourself, to sustain this long term, you're going to need more than 4, 6, 8 weeks. You know, this is a process. And as an over 30 that's got life responsibilities, busy at work, got a house to run, and, you know, living the chaotic life that you do, you know, it's very easy to just one day wake up and feel rubbish in yourself and go, I'm going to go all in for 4 weeks on a summer shred, right? And you might lose a little bit of weight, you might feel a bit better in yourself, but it's short-lived and it never lasts. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. So let's get straight into it. So why should we avoid the 4-week summer shreds? Okay, because it's short-term. Because, you know, anybody can apply themselves for 4, 6, 8 weeks when they've got a holiday coming up, when they're feeling motivated, it's nice outside, and you think, do you know what, I'm just going to cut all this stuff out, I'm going to make crazy sacrifice, and I'm going to see as much progress as possible. Now that may work and you may see progress, but it's short-term focus. Because what are you going to do after the 4 weeks? Let's say you commit, you do amazing 4 weeks, you lose half a stone to a stone, you're feeling better, you've been exercising, you've been cutting out rubbish, fantastic. You go on holiday, you feel much better. But then what? What's the process when you get back off that holiday? Because you can't do that forever, it's not sustainable. What's the next target that you're aiming for? What actually is the end of your weight loss journey look like? And if the long-term goal is to sustain it, then how do you do that? So you can see just by thinking about it, you look at it and you think, well, actually, yeah, like it is short term. It is just a little reset and a kickstart or whatever it may be, a little surge to get you making progress. But I mean, what's the point making progress if you're not going to sustain it? What's the point in putting yourself through something that is just unrealistic, unsustainable, takes all the enjoyment out of it, and you just can't keep going with? Because that's just going to demoralize you. That's just going to make you go like, oh yeah, when I'm on it, I can do it, but then, oh, I gained it all back again. Like, that's not what we want. And especially as you're in your 30s, you want to be a better version of yourself for you, your family, your loved ones, your children. You want to progress in life and at work, and you want to truly step into that best version of yourself. And that's not going to help you do that. So that's the first thing. It's short-term focus. Now, the second thing is it's restrictive. You know, any short-term focused goal is typically where we make big sacrifices. You know, we miss out on fun things, we feel guilty, you know, we cut out all the things that we love and take all the enjoyment out of it. And that's why as well, you only do it for 4 weeks, because you couldn't see yourself doing it long term. It doesn't align with your values. It's not fun, it's restrictive. You'll do it to see a bit of progress, but it's just not gonna last. And it's super restrictive, and weight loss does not have to be restrictive if you understand the process properly and do it right, which I'll talk about. So it's just restrictive. It just doesn't align with a busy person with a family who likes to go out and socialize, a big foodie like me. It just doesn't work, okay? It doesn't align with your values. A lot of these 4, 6, 8 week summer shreds will probably look like me right now with a vest on, you know, are topless bodybuilders that are in the teens that have no idea and have never walked a day in your shoes. You know, they live the bodybuilding lifestyle. They don't have a family. They don't, you know, they're not a foodie. They don't have loads of family that they're busy with all the time. Like, it's just, it doesn't align with your values. You know, you're getting advice from someone that doesn't even live the life that you do. Their life is completely different to you. So that's why it's, you know, get 15K steps in a day, do fasted cardio every other day, go to the gym 6 days a week, you know, follow this set meal plan. It's just so restrictive, and it just does not align with your values as an individual. Hence why you've never been able to achieve it. And then it's just a generic plan. It's just a plan. Like, what is a plan? If you want to get a plan on how to exercise, how to lose weight, just go into ChatGPT, type it in, and it'll populate a generic plan. And it might be scientifically correct, but you're not going to be able to implement it. You're not going to truly understand the process and know how to adapt that. So it's just a generic plan. That's literally all it is. And if it's a generic plan for 4 weeks, there's no learning. You know, it's the like, how, this is what you do. But what about the why? Why am I doing this program? How does it fit in my life? How do I progress that long term? You know, it's none of that. It's just so short-term focused. And for me, even if you wanted, you know, a quick 4 to 6 week reset, that's fine. But then you've got to think longer term as well. You've got to see through that and think, well, I'll do this to get me back on track, but then what's the transition away? And I need to do this process right. So that's your typical 4 week summer shred. And that's why you need to avoid that like the plague, because you don't have to do that. You don't have to crash diet. You don't have to do something that doesn't align with your values. You don't have to do a process that's restrictive and short term. It's just not worth it. What you need to do, and what we do inside the Lean and Fulfilled Lifestyle, is our Summer Accelerator, okay? Our 4 week trial that we use across the summer months to show you a completely different way. And this is a way that you still see rapid progress, but you're building the foundations with it. So it means that once the 4 weeks is gone and beyond, you actually have a clear pathway of how we can continue making that progress, and you naturally evolve through it. So the difference is it's long term, okay? Whenever you have a weight loss goal, for most of you, you don't just want to lose weight, you want to sustain it, all right? And to lose the weight that you need to, you might think, oh, I just need to lose a stone. Most adults, from my experience, have more to lose than they realize. So let's say you have 10 to 20 kilos to lose. You can't do that in 4 weeks, all right? You can do 3 to 6 kilos, you know, in a sustainable way. We see that time and time again inside the Lean and Fulfilled Lifestyle. So what you have to remember is that your weight loss goal, you have to think long term, okay? You have to think long term, because that's what it's going to take. It could take you 12 to 24 weeks to achieve that. And you have to understand that from the start, because then instead of going crazy restrictive, you can actually build into the process. You know, make it easier to start with, to build your confidence, to find your feet, to build better habits alongside it and see progress. And then you can make more sacrifices and get a little bit more restrictive towards the end, you know, over a short week period, but then you know how you're going to come out of it as well. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense and just opens your mind up to a completely different standpoint. You also have to realize that, you know, once you've lost the weight, you need to learn how to sustain it. And that's a whole different gravy. That is a whole different kettle of fish. That is a completely different process of learning how to finally step away from weight loss, which has been your identity for years. That's not easy. Okay, it doesn't mean it's not worth it, but you have to understand how that process works, what mindset shifts you need to have, how you reframe your goals, and actually what it looks like from a nutrition strategy, because you don't have to track calories forever. You don't have to obsess over the number on the scale once you come away from weight loss, but you need to understand what that looks like. But that's thinking too long term ahead, but you always have to. Hopefully you see what I mean. The second thing is, instead of restrictive set plans that are just don't align with your values and don't fit into your life, you need flexible frameworks, okay? You need to be able to go out and eat with your family, with your friends, and actually not have to worry about tracking it, to the gram, to not have to worry about losing progress or feel like you're failing if the scale's a little bit higher the next day. Okay, you need flexible frameworks that you can go out, you can control what you can, let go of what you can't, and just make informed decisions that align with your goals. Okay, that might be on special occasions where you decide, like, this is once in a blue moon, it's my anniversary, it's my best friend's wedding, I'm gonna just live my life and enjoy this moment and know that long term it's not gonna have any impact on my weight loss goal. If anything, it's gonna help me to keep focused and balanced and excited and feel like this is fun and playful, not just restrictive and monotonous. So it's really important. And couple of things that we use: principle-based nutrition, so how you can eat out, not track the meal, but still stay on track with your weight loss goal. Picking and choosing your moments. So yeah, if it's not a fuck yeah, leave it on the table. So again, it's just being able to go, all right, this social or this event that I've got, can I be a bit more goal conscious, or can I just let my hair down, enjoy myself? Okay, it's picking and choosing, which is key. And it's built around real life. I have 2 young girls, I run a business, I've got a household to run. I've got a wife, I've got 3 pets. So, I understand that life is busy, and we need to be able to be adaptable. We need to be flexible, and that's just realistic, and when you learn how to build fitness into your life, then it's going to stick around long term because it becomes part of who you are. But if you just follow random, generic, restrictive plans that you don't even like, that don't align with your values, they're never going to stay in your life forever. So again, it's short term, it's crash dieting, it's fads, it's just back to square one. And yeah, you need a pathway. Okay, you need to understand that, okay, I want to lose weight, that's my goal, brilliant. But my habits need to improve. I need to change my mindset because, I always give up on myself. When I have a bad day, I self-sabotage, so you need to work on evolving your identity and changing your mindset. You need to, build better habits. So, to become the person, you need to be the person. So a healthier person that loses weight, that sustains it, what habits are they implementing? You can't just hit a calorie goal and expect to magically be in the body that you've always wanted and sustain it. You need to build healthy habits. We need to get more fruit and veg in. We need to build up your protein levels. There's so many different things that we need to do, and that's why you need a pathway. You need to understand that if this is where you are now and you want to get to this place, there's a path that we have to take, and you need to learn different things at different moments. And that's why, inside the Lean and Fulfilled lifestyle, we have 4 phases. We have phase establish, phase lean, phase sustain, and phase fulfillment. So depending on where you are in your journey, in each phase, there's different things that you learn. So in phase establish, as an example, when a client starts, they go through our weight loss habit stacking system. So every single week, they're implementing a new habit in order of priority that are going to help them see fast progress with their weight loss and also feel great and rebuild their confidence, and just building habits that are building them solid foundations. Okay, with that as well, we have a weekly mindset training to help you overcome the biggest challenges that stop you. So when you do that in the first phase of your journey, you're building the right foundations. You're not just following a plan, you're following a plan and seeing results, but you're building better habits, okay? Changing your behavior, changing your mindset as well. And then again, when we get to phase sustain, we learn how to actually transition away from weight loss. Okay, in phase lean, we set an audacious goal to get you to the end of your weight loss journey. So you don't just lose a stone and fall off the bandwagon. You lose 3 stone, you get in the best shape of your life, and you go all the way this time. So that's how you lose your stubborn body fat. But that's why a pathway is key, because also with my clients, I want to develop self-sufficiency. I want to educate them on okay, this is what I want you to do, but this is why. Okay, and the actual education around it. So that's why you need a pathway, and you don't get that with a 4-week shred. It just gives you absolutely nothing, that you actually need. And when we kind of look at the difference then between your generic kind of 4-week summer shreds that I've mentioned here, compared to what you actually need, which is, we offer our 4-week summer accelerator, which, yes, it's a 4-week thing, but it's an entry point into the real way. Okay, it's starting to change your mindset, implementing habits, our weight loss habit stacking system, doing things differently, more just to open your eyes up and show you that, as an over 30, if you truly want to commit to your health and fitness journey and learn how to achieve and sustain it, see rapid progress, but actually build on it and achieve it long term, we give that, and nobody is doing that out there. Literally nobody. You could go to any other coach and they'll just give you the same old generic rubbish. But that's why we're so different. So yeah, you need to absolutely avoid, like the plague, these 4-week, 6-week, 8-week, whatever it is, summer shreds. And yeah, you need to learn the lean and fulfilled way. And the reality is the key difference is here, because you think about a training program, a nutrition plan, all things that you need to lose weight for summer, of course, but it's what's going with that. So instead of just here's a generic plan, it's a plan built for you, with you, together. It's a professional service and a pathway that we help build into your life, so it feels good. And communication, there's so much going on, so it just aligns and it feels right. And the difference is as well that at the start of your journey, we're forming new habits and we're changing your identity. There's a big reason why fad dieters or people that do 4-week summer shreds, pile all the weight back on again. It's because they're fast tracking the process. They're not actually going through the process required to build the skills, the knowledge, and actually make it part of who they are. They just make crazy sacrifices for 4 weeks and then they fall off the cliff. And it's the reason why lottery winners, most of them, people that win the lottery, they go broke after a few years, because they don't have the identity of someone that knows how to handle money. They don't know how to invest it. They don't know how to, save it. They don't, they just spend it, right? Because they don't have the skills and understanding of that. And again, it's the same with your weight loss goal. You have to change your identity and build habits that align with who you want to become, so it builds into your life and it's part of who you are. Otherwise, any progress that you make is short-lived. And that's why just avoid 4-week summer shreds. You don't need to crash diet. You don't need to do anything like that. Fitness should enhance your life, not restrict it. And if you follow a longer term approach with flexible frameworks that's actually built for real life and is a pathway, a professional pathway that takes you from where you are now to where you want to get to, that you're actually bought into. You're not just given a plan and say, see you later. You're actually working one-to-one with someone, and frequently reviewing and understanding what it looks like in your life. That's the difference. That is how you lose weight for summer and beyond. Because it's not, let's be honest, it's not just about feeling better for summer, okay? Initially in your mind, that's the pull. That's what I want right now. But long-term, it's not. Long-term, you want to sustain that. Long-term, you want to see what you're capable of and step into that best, healthiest version of yourself. But it all starts with that. And do not be fooled to think because you need a long-term mindset, because it's built for real life, because it's, you need flexible frameworks. Don't for 1 second think that you can't see rapid progress. Okay, in our 4-week summer accelerator, clients are seeing 3 to 6 kilos of weight loss, rapid weight loss that builds their confidence, makes them feel so much better in themselves, but whilst building and forming new healthy habits and seeing their mindset change. Now, if you do that in 4 weeks, you think continuing that over a 3, 6, 9, 12-month period, your life completely changes. And that's what it takes. So look, hopefully this video was useful, bit of a different one. Hope you enjoyed it. I am sweating already, so I need to get myself wiped. But yeah, have a good one.